get so mad, there's no control in me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had such a fucked up real bad. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Heel of the Ring podcast with the dawn of the watch along.
Oh,
Your main man of the evening, and I am your semi-main man of the evening, Adam the Diffman, here for another episode of Heel of the Ring, talking about AEW Dynamite for this week. How you doing today, Kev?
I am doing well. We have Adam the Diffman back on taking care of some business, making some money for the Don, out and about. He is a main man. He's just trying to be a little modest. So the Diffman is a main man on the program. The NXT. Let's go right into the AEW Dynamite review. But first and foremost, Diffman, how is the business going? Are you making the greens and making us happy here?
Hey, you know, I'm making the money. I'm making the cannoli. I'm making the mozzarella. Business is good. Took a little bit of a sabbatical, but it's good to be back here on Heel of the Ring.
Indeed. So let's get right into the August 3rd edition of AEW Dynamite. Of course, it's setting up for a couple events coming up. Battle of the Belts 3 will be on Saturday evening. Also, next week in Minnesota, The Mistake by the Lake next week. And also, their upcoming pay-per-view extravaganza September 4th, which is All Out. So, a lot of moving pieces in AEW with all these cards setting up. And, of course, the program begins with, let me tell you right now, two of the most over wrestlers, not just in AEW. We also saw over the past weekend, none other than Orange Cassidy taking on Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal is over. Also, we saw him in the Ric Flair last match on Sunday. We saw him a week prior to that on the Ring of Honor program. So, Jay Lethal, busy everywhere. And, of course, what can you say about Orange Cassidy when it comes to the AEW crowd? He's so much over. I know it's like some people might say they don't like the comedy gimmick, but Orange Cassidy, yes, although he has a little bit of a comedy aspect, but the man goes in the ring. From his match with Will Ospreay going forward, or even prior to that, he brings it. When you see, let me ask you, Diffman, when you seen that the match announced Cassidy Lethal to open up, were you all right? Open up contest. I'm invested. Let's go. Let's hit the ball rolling. Or did you seen the card? Maybe did you think that was a different spot? Maybe a cool down segment, or what's your thoughts first and foremost?
You know, I mean, I didn't think it was a bad match to open the show. I thought that it was a good, you know, like you said, it was a good match to get the crowd going. But I have to tell you, after watching Raw, I was kind of a little bit, I started to see the differences a little bit between the WWE style and the AEW style. And I'm not saying that this was a bad match. I thought it was a okay match, but For me, this match was just, it had a lot going right from the very beginning, and it was just like very like spot, and I mean, they had the comedy gimmick with what's his name, the best friends coming out on each other's shoulders, and I thought that was kind of stupid. You know, I didn't like that at all. But as a match, other than just being like a lot, they don't really do this in WWE, where it's like it's so much to look at once. In WWE, it's a little bit slower. There's a little bit more, I guess, storytelling and a little bit more meaning behind each thing. I thought this match was okay, but another thing I kind of had a problem with was when Orange Cassidy did like a kind of like stunner to Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal didn't really sell it. He just kind of stood there and then took another, you know, it went right into like doing a move to Orange Cassidy, or when he took a DDT, popped back to his feet and then took another DDT and kicked out at 2. I was kind of like, okay, you know, again, not to make the comparison to Raw, but you know, this is just the kind of stuff that you wouldn't really see there. You know, stuff has a little bit more meaning, but other than the comedy stuff, I thought it was a pretty entertaining match.
I wanted to touch base on that. I'm going to elaborate on what you were mentioning. I did notice that there's an issue when it's not. Sometimes it happens. It gets magnified more with All Elite Wrestling, and WWE has that as times too. The professional wrestlers these days are not selling the other wrestlers' finishing moves or those moves as a devastating, or man, this is going to hurt me. You know, case in point was a couple weeks ago, you had the Best Friends taking on Wheeler Yuta, and I think it was Black Brew Common Club, where Wheeler Yuta got spiked power drive twice in a row, kicked out at 2, but the finish end with a roll up pin. And you telling me you pin your opponent on that kind of a move, while meanwhile you just took 2 spike power drivers in a row and you still kicked out like ease. It wasn't 2 7/4, 7/8. Not was like, oh, that we, you know, where you could have the crowd say that was 3. No, and that's a little bit of an issue with it. You know, show me some. Don't sandbag like they call now. Give me a little bit of a man. This was like, whoa, this really hurt. You know, but I liked it because I know when the match started, Shivani on commentary mentioned this is the first one-on-one between Cassidy and Lethal, which I thought, you know, right, I'm invested. We saw them in tag teams last week. I want to see them now go one-on-one. Of course, you talked about when Lethal crawled up to the ramp. You saw the Best Friends on the shoulders. So, you know, I don't know what they want to do with that big giant. He looks too stiff. He looks, you know, the Great Khali 2.0 was a little, you know, I get it. He's intimidating. There's a place for him in wrestling, you know, but it's gonna get old quickly. It's gonna get old with him not doing anything there. But all in all, I like the fact that Orange Cassidy, the match was very, very entertaining by both. You know, we saw Jay Lethal hit the lethal injection for the win. He gets the victory there. I still think Orange Cassidy still doesn't lose his heat. I still think I think whenever he'll pop out, the crowd will love him. And one thing that I love about, and I mentioned with Orange Cassidy that no one gets, I know some of the older folks or some of the people in the front row, if you look at the video replay or if you watch it on your DVR, you see some of the folks put faces when Orange Cassidy came like, ugh.
Yeah.
Well, listen, wait a minute. There's a marketing for an Orange Cassidy. If AEW wants to stay at owning 800,000 to 900,000 viewers, then don't show Orange Cassidy. Don't show him. Stay at that plateau. But if you want to go over the 1.2 million to the 2 million in the million mark, and I'm not saying that Cassidy is your needle mover, but here's the thing: you got in that, and when he came down that ramp, did you see the little kid dressed up like Orange Cassidy?
Yes.
and that he gave him the pound. You see little kids cosplay and dress as an Orange Cassidy. Guess what you're doing? You're building a seed for next generation. If AEW wants to stay past 5 years and not fold like the other wrestling organizations that want to go after WWE, instead of worrying about building an alternative, not being part of the competition, just being an alternative, they need to get other demographic viewers, which is the kids. And we're gonna get to more how they. And tonight, I thought they were building something for an alternative for not just the hardcore, a little bit of the casuals as we get through the card. But all in all, I'm okay with Jay Lethal winning this because now we're gonna see Jay Lethal asking to wants a match with Warlord. They call him out. They were going to hurt Orange Cassidy. Now let me ask you, Diffman. Warlord, Jay Lethal, does that entice you? We've seen Jay Lethal's everywhere, though. Does that appease you? Is that must watch for the Diffman?
I would say I'm going to sound like heel here for a second, but not as much watch as MJF would be.
All right, but just don't put people to sleep.
Yeah.
You're going to be heel.
Yeah, but if they want to get over that 1.2 million, that's what they need is MJF. But anyway, as far as Wardlow and Lethal, I'm interested in this match. I mean, I would watch it. I would definitely watch Wardlow versus Lethal. I think it has potential to be a good match. It's an AEW guy versus a Ring of Honor guy, but that's cool.
I want to see it because, like you said, ROH, AEW, it's a non-WWE guys going at it. Not even right. It's non-WWE over the. It's not over the hill WWE guys going at it. It's too young. Well, Jay Lethal's a veteran now, but it's too fresh storylines. I want to see if Warlord really is going to get over, and we're thinking he's the next Goldberg a la Batista. Can you show me? Are you going to be better than them? Are you going to, when you get in the ring with a quality wrestler who could bring it, not just high flying, with the technical aspect, with the moves in Warlord? I want to see how that looked. Because to me, it's going to show me, Warlord, are you just going to be a meat, powerhouse or power wrestler that's you're going to be one-dimensional, or you're going to bring that level to a Jay Lethal to go, oh, you can have matches with these technical guys as well. Even if it looks a little sloppy, Diffman, but if it makes it entertaining, I want to see. To me, we all know that Warlord, no way, no how, is going to drop the TNT title, although anything can happen. I doubt it. I don't think it would behoove AEW for him to drop this title because he has no interest in the interim. So it's not his time yet. You want to leave him in that mid-card title. I want to see where that goes, how he looks with him. I'm invested because I want to see how that match transpire Saturday night. That's what got me invested there.
I'm invested in this as well because it's something that we've never seen before. It's not like you said, two ex-WWE guys who are over the hill, like Jericho and Moxley, who, by the way, are going to be facing one another. Sorry, I just spoiled something for later on. Sorry about that. Edit that out. We're live.
I yelled that heel last program for that.
No.
I know you did that on purpose.
So no. Somebody's getting fired. Me versus heel in a keep your job and heel the ring podcast match. So I'm invested because it's something that we've never seen before. It's something fresh. So I'm interested.
All right, we shall move on and see where that happens. That happens this Saturday night. Battle of the Belts 3. Okay, let's take a look at that. Now we go. We never do a lot of the promos, except for like when there's pipe bombs and so forth. This promo, we finally going to see Undisputed Elite return. They get in the ring. They cut a promo. We see Adam Cole. Good to see him back. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and the Young Bucks all there together. Adam Cole still not ready to return. still not 100% cleared, medically cleared. And he's talking about this upcoming tournament where the AEW wants to add another world title and try to cram it with 2-hour show that, I don't know, that's a story for another day, but they want to add that trio style 6-man tag title. And before we give any spoilers, when you saw that and heard Adam Cole come out, what was your thoughts? Like, so why the hell you're here?
I was thinking, oh, here comes Adam Cole to be on commentary. That was the first thing I thought was, well, I hope that Adam Cole actually is going to wrestle. I hadn't watched Dynamite in a couple weeks, so I was like, well, I really hope that Adam Cole is coming out to wrestle and that he's able to wrestle now. And, he's not going to be on commentary. Then I see him get in the ring and he starts cutting a promo and I'm like, all right, so they're pushing the trios titles, not really that excited about the whole trios tournament thing, but I wonder who Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are going to be teaming with. Maybe it'll be Matt Jackson, maybe it'll be Nick Jackson, maybe it'll be a trio between one of the Young Bucks. But so I was kind of curious. I was like, okay, where this is going. So up until that point, I was like, okay, this is just another promo. But then something very interesting happened that definitely got my attention.
Right, and I'll reveal that in a second. When I saw that, I said, this is a trios. You need 3. And I'm here in the ring, I see 5. One, there's going to be 2 and 2. Who is Adam Cole? Where's the balance going to shift? Is he going to say, I'm going to team up with the Bucks? And what's going to happen with Red Dragon, Fish, and O'Reilly? I'm like, so I first thought, okay, I was personally live at NXT 2.0 on Saturday night. Tuesday night. I got the lights all wrong. I'm thinking of Saturday because I'm thinking of Battle of the Belt. So I can't wait for the weekend. Put it that way. I want to get some sleep. And I digress. So I was at NXT, and Roderick Strong, who was formerly part of the Undisputed Era when it was Kyle O'Reilly, that facet that was in NXT. And there's been reports that he wants to leave the WWE. He wants his release. Of course, Mia Shafir is his wife. She's in AEW. He wants to go to AEW. He's been asking since February. So he didn't come out with the Diamond Club, the Diamond Mine, to part of the match. He said he was running late. There's been some dissension that he doesn't. They're putting that in the storyline that he's unhappy as well, and they're bringing kayfabe into the wrestling storyline. So I figured, okay, they probably gave him his release. They didn't announce it to the media. Triple H did him a solid. You were one of the holdovers that stood here. I'm just going to release you. Go ahead, kid. Good luck. I'm not here to burn bridges. You're eventually going to come back to wrestle. One thing probably learned from Vince McMahon, they always come back. They can want to leave, but they're always going to want to come back to WWE sooner or later because this is where the big boys play. This is the big leagues. Let them go. And I figured, all right, they're going to bring out Roderick Strong. I said, okay, wait for some weird music or whatever. Adam Cole's going to bring my best bud, and here comes Roderick Strong, I thought. But we were wrong. We saw a dissension. We saw a takeout of the Young Bucks. So Rally, he says, I'm not able to wrestle. I'm not medically clear. Neither is Kyle O'Reilly. Neither are the Bucks. And the Bucks look like what? Because you guys are going to be medically unable. And bam, the heel turn or the betrayal there. You saw some super kicks from the Red Dragon taking out the Bucks. Matt Jackson, they were working on him hard. They were working on his ankle. They were going to snap his ankle. And of course, bam, the music hits. In one of the biggest pops, in my opinion, it made it. The whole promo looked great. Diffman, Adam Page comes out. What was your thoughts from there on out?
I loved it, but I also kind of feel a little bit bad for Dark Order because I guess Dark Order is back to being a jobber group without Hangman because, well, Hangman was their leader, and I guess Dark Order's kind of screwed now without Hangman. But no, I loved it. I loved the surprise. I did not see it coming. I did not know the thing about Roderick Strong. I was thinking maybe Kenny Omega would come out and Kenny Omega would be part of the promo announcing that he would be back. before whenever they are going to do the trios tournament, and that he would be cleared by then.
You're correct with that, DIFFMAN. But go ahead, finish your statement.
But I loved it. It was one of the very few times in wrestling I was actually swerved. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, they got me. You know, they swerved me. And I love getting swerved.
All right, speaking of swerve, we got to put this there.
No.
Hey, Keith Lee, you still suck. All right, so that's just had to get that out of my system.
Look at my coup. Look at my coup.
So when I saw that save, the classic, I think it would work well. It looked phenomenal, especially when you see Adam Page pick up Matt Jackson to help him on his feet there. Yep. I know some people complaining and said, you know, he got up too fast. He was really healed that quick. You know, he didn't sell that getting his ankle. Listen, they can't, in a long storyline, you would like to have Matt Jackson get kind of shelved a little bit just for a couple of weeks. But with all the talent going down in AEW, they can't afford to make that part of a storyline where he's going to be in crutches and so forth. They can't afford that. So I kind of get it why. The aesthetics, it looks great because it's showing Adam Page helping him and rejoining, putting bygones and going back here together as a facet. I like it. It also, you were right. It kind of led to Kenny Omega. You thought Kenny Omega was going to be the one to team up with Page, with Young Bucks and have them go after the trio title. But I think when you want a Kenny Omega to return, you want Kenny Omega to return into the singles competition. You really, okay. Although it looks great with Kenny Omega to be with the Bucks, it will look great. But I think it'll steal something away, and also it keeps Adam Page busy because they gave him that singles title run, and everyone complained it wasn't memorable. So let him go with the Bucks. I think they work great as a trio. You know, you think of them going in that power and speed along with, you know, maybe the Lucha Brothers. You know, they find a 6-man going at match. Just think of those kind of matches. You know, the back and forth, or like you said, Undisputed Elite. You know, and so forth. You know, it looks like they're building something here. Now for Dark Order, I think, unfortunately, it took away Adam Page away from being a comedy skit and be more serious here. What's going to happen to Dark Order, I don't know, because they look like they're little by little falling apart. You saw Anna Jay now goes with Jericho Society, and you saw Adam, the other Adam Angel, no longer part of Dark Order, not even AEW anymore. So the members are starting to slowly disintegrate. So they're going to probably be left on a Dark Elevation, you know, unless if they go into Buffalo or wherever Brody Lee.
Rochester.
Thank you for correcting me. When they bring them there, that's when they might show them out there like, hey, remember us? But right. I think the Dark Order days are, you know, pushed away. I think that's kind of like going away with the time. But all in all, this was a great promo. I usually we don't like to spend a lot of time on the promo. What did you get about this? There's a dissension. There's 6-man. There's a feud on the horizon. Now, will Adam Cole get healthy enough to get back in the ring, or rally and Fish? Who knows what happens there? But it's setting up a storyline. If we got up to the 4th of September, a month, 30 days away for their pay-per-view. Would it be enough time? Only time will tell, because concussions and head injuries, you never know. You know, maybe that's when we get a Roderick Strong to come in with the other two, with Rally and Fish, and Adam Cole will be just say I got a substitute, like the way Claudio Castagnoli was Bryan Danielson's replacement. Who knows? That's long-term booking. We'll see when it comes there. But it looked great. Now, something that surprised me, Adam, the next match here, I was extremely surprised. I had a double take. I had to say, I even looked at the phone. Then I said, no, my phone might be wrong. I checked out the TV. It was the women's match right after. It was Thunderstorm, of course, Tony Storm with Thunder Rosa taking on Britt Baker, DMD. That's MD. I know you have a thing for her, and Jamie Hayter. And I was like, okay, something different, something fresh, a different time slot. The match, I believe it or not, I enjoyed it. It was refreshing. I understand in the Twitterverse, the Twitter machine, they're killing Thunder Rosa, her wrestling, and she actually came out with a Sandbag t-shirt, Sandbag 2022. Remember, they accused her of sandbagging Maria Shafia. The match and a couple matches, she was a little cringeworthy. But I thought the match was really good. I liked the power from Jamie Hayter. She double suplexed both the Thunderstorm. Big breaker, what can you say? Great in-ring performer. Before we give the results there, were you okay with the ladies at that time? I know you said you didn't like the order or some things there. I went too long. Let me go with your thoughts.
I loved it. I loved this match. I was very surprised by this match. When the match started, at first I was and I didn't really mind the time slot either. In fact, I kind of preferred this time slot. Usually the order to AEW Dynamite is a little bit off, and I would say, well, I would have put this match here and this match there. But other than maybe one match, I thought that everything on this show was actually ordered really well. So this is actually one of the very few times I would say, yeah, good for AEW, good for Tony Khan. They actually more or less got the order right. There's two matches I would have switched, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But as far as the time slot, I thought that this was actually a better time slot for this match. And I thought it was a really, really good match. I thought it was the second best match on the show. I'll get to what I thought the best match was, which really surprised me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I cannot argue with you on that there. Not to be Captain Agreeable here, but I can't argue with there because right now you're giving them time. Usually when that 9:30 slot, the main event is coming up, and you still got another freaking promo to do, with Jay Cargill coming up and being rude and telling Shivani to shut the hell up, whatever, curses and cut the crap, with her, the same old rinse and repeat. I like the fact that they gave them time here. If they needed an extra 10 minutes here in that women's match, then you could cut from something else. I loved it because it was okay. You had a good opening with Orange Cassidy. When he in the crowd, any first opening match in AEW, I always said it. You could put two turds in the toilet bowl and they'll go nuts because it's the opening contest. So then you had, instead of getting a cool down period, you had a freaking betrayal of a whoa. You had a little kid crying in the stands, by the way, for and then you have this women's match. Nobody was like, all right, let me go get beer, let me go get a hot dog. No, you were invested because the ladies bought it. That hot tag to Toni Storm when she was going nuts there with on explosive moves. The corner when she uses the hip attack. Excuse me, the hip attack in the corner looked phenomenal. I know there was a lot of perverts out there, a lot of you jabronis, a lot of you humanoids were wishing that it was you getting the hip toss from Toni Storm. I'm watching you guys. I know that. But
actually, I was thinking more wishing that they were Dominic Mysterio getting tied up in the corner by Rhea Ripley. But anyway, that's another show. Dominic Mysterio was out there living the dream on Monday. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, he had that shit-eating grin.
But like,
Brody Matthews.
The only problem I really had with this match actually was the amount of tags. I really wish that there was less tagging going on. I felt like it was a little bit too much in and out, but other than that, really good match.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, but I thought it was all right. I didn't really see too much of that. I just thought that this year, 2022, so far, and we're almost half, 8th month of the year. Breakout woman star in AEW to me, before is Jamie Hayter. She is phenomenal. She showed her power. She showed her strength. She gets the pin. They win. Let me ask you, were you okay with the victory here? Did or at this point it was so well it didn't matter to you who won?
It was done really well, and Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker going over, I was okay with it because obviously, I don't think it's going to be the end of this feud. I think that there's going to be more matches between these 4 women. So, yeah, because it wasn't the end, and it wasn't really a blow-off match, I'm okay with everything that happened.
All right, me too. I was fine with that as well. I was like bravo. I was like bravo. I was more happy for the women, and that they put at 8:30. They mentioned that it was just done right. I cannot, as much as we critique it, here's the 9:30 slot or 9:20 slot with the women, and no, this was done phenomenal. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Then we have an old-fashioned squash match. Powerhouse Hobbs in action, taking on Ren Jones. Yes, Ren Jones. Don't worry, you don't need to remember that name. Powerhouse Hobbs comes out there and totally annihilates the kid for the victory. But before we get butt situation, when I left the butt there, what's your thoughts on the old-fashioned squash match? Or did you want Ren Jones to at least put some offense? Let the kid have a little bit of an offense to kind of mount something here, or were you okay with that?
I was okay with it being 100% squash. I mean, it wasn't really about the match as much as it was the angle with Ricky Starks.
Yes.
So, because it was more to push the angle, and again, I mean, this is one of those things where I have to say, bravo, Tony Khan, you actually are booking this angle quite well. You have me invested in both Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. I liked the turn that Powerhouse Hobbs did on Ricky Starks. I'd like to hear a little bit more on why he did it. Taz says now that he's done with Team Taz, that he's not managing Team Taz anymore. He wants nothing to do with Team Taz. And there is no more Team Taz. So, yeah, I'm okay with it being 100% squash. It was kind of a little bit of a cool down from the women's tag match. And, again, I mean, it's more about Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks than it was about this kid, getting any type of an offense on Hobbs. Indeed.
After the match, you see Ricky Starks just fly out. He even passed the camera, and he just went there full speed. They show like he really has some venom out to Hobbs. Hobbs hits him with a move. Hobbs gets the best of Ricky Starks here. It's building up the feud here. I can't wait to when, it's like that MJF Warlord, different in a different aspect. I'm not saying exactly like that because there was a lot of obstacles for Warlord to get his hands on MJF, but they're trying to build that heat. They're giving you that kind of vibe the way Khan is booking it, going along with it. I liked it. And also with Team Taz. Taz is suited where he belongs as a commentator. I didn't like him as the manager coming out, especially if he's not going to get physically involved. Besides, he's not in shape. He doesn't look, he's good where he's at his best when he's behind the microphone. I love him as commentary, speaking and going at it. I think he's phenomenal there. I think they got to leave him there, leave him alone with him and Excalibur. I could have just, two-man booth. I don't really care for Shivani or James Ross, but I know they're legends. They're there. They got a paycheck. Fine, three-man booth, but I really enjoy that. I like the story it's telling us. I want to see Ricky Starks finally get his hands on Powerhouse Hobbs. How's he really gonna take on this monster of a Hobbs? Although we all know Hobbs is not really a great in-ring performer, but I want to see how, if Ricky Starks carry him, helps him get him over, or vice versa. It got me invested going forward. I loved it. I want to see what transpires. Now, do you agree Taz belongs better in the microphone behind as a commentary, or would you like him to still be like in that vignette promoter role?
No, I definitely think that he should just be on commentary. Because the thing about Taz that I noticed is when he's on commentary just calling any other match, and then when he's talking about Team Taz, it's almost like a completely different person, where he kind of needs to switch into like the, I'm Taz, I'm the manager of Team Taz, and then he'll be talking about like, oh wow, look at Anna Jay, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, look at her, and woohoo, almost like woohoo puppies,
Yeah, look at
the old
those.
days
Hey,
of,
look at those.
yeah, and he gets Taz on Dark can be very. I don't watch Dark, but I've seen clips of Dark from Promo Joe, and when I watch Promo Joe, and I see those clips of Taz being on commentary on Dark, I'm like, this guy's completely silly and making jokes and stuff. And then it's kind of weird when he talks about Team Taz because he's like, Powerhouse Hobbs, Hook. Yeah, and I mean, it just I don't know. I don't like the dichotomy. I don't like the bipolar Taz. So I'm kind of glad that Team Taz is done. I don't really give a shit about the FTW belt. I'm glad that this feud is more about Hobbs and Starch rather than the FTW belt. Actually, it's not about the FTW belt at all.
No.
Yeah. So,
I agree with you there. It's Hook who has the title, the false, the non-sanctioned gimmick title, if you want to say.
Right. So, I'm glad that's not about the FTW belt. I don't care about the FTW belt, but I'm invested slightly in Hobbs versus Starks.
I'm interested, Adam, in this feud because there's two stories to be told here. One is with the AEW storyline, and one with outside of AEW storyline. Ricky Stark's contract is coming up to an end. I believe it's sometime in this year, 2022. I don't know if he's resigning. I don't think, I haven't heard any deep dirt sheets. I haven't heard it from nobody. I'm not hearing it from anyone. I know his contract is up in 2022 or maybe the early part of 2023. He signed back in 2019 for a 3-year contract. You make the math. There you have it. If Powerhouse Hobbs gets over a Ricky Starks, because it looks like they're pushing, it's setting up there. He drops the FTW title, which is not a sanction. It doesn't mean nothing. It just makes him look over. If you, this guy with hardware, and you're setting up his exodus out of AEW. He's getting his affairs in order. I am going to try to get this man. I'm going to get Hobbs over, my former tag team partner. I'll get him over where he could probably destroy me, make me look like he injured me. Out I go on an injury, out of sight, out of mind for the company. My contract expires, and I'm back with my best friend. Like, now I don't want to sound like Riddle, my best friend Randy, my best friend Cody, and he's in WWE. And because remember, Ricky Stark is, I believe, 32 years old. Time is, he's in his prime here, but time is ticking. If he wants to make some serious money or the more exposure, you could see him heading out to WWE with Cody. He mentioned on different podcasts that he is friends with Cody Rhodes. He speaks with Cody Rhodes every day. Said by him. So do I see him jumping ship? I'm not saying he will or won't, but maybe Khan will pay him the money to stay there. But don't be surprised if he's setting up his exodus of AEW. And that's why I want to see where this feud goes. Salute to Maria in the chat.
Salute.
And Brandon in the chat and Chris in the chat. So I was okay with this. We'll see where that goes forward, Adam. But then we go away. Now, do you have anything else before? Let me give you the final words before we move on.
I do have a little bit of news that I'm going to break towards the end of the show. That's all I will say.
That's a teaser. Stay tuned. So we will move on to a promo. Now, a promo that was pre-taped with Darby Allin. He was actually tattooing himself. What the heck? He's tattooing himself. He's talking about House of Black, Brody King. They're going to have setting up a coffin match. If I'm not mistaken, is that in the Mistake by the Lake?
I believe that's going to be Mistake by the Lake, yeah.
All right. And in there it says the last thing you're going to see is his name on there in that coffin match. I want to take a look at that match. Darby Allin cut some freaking good promos. He is exciting, but lately his matches are like, okay, you're like a glorified beat up puppet or put up doll. You know, one of those for MMA that they show you how to strike and hit. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, that's a lot of my problem with a lot of these AEW guys is they don't look like they could whip cream with an outboard motor to steal a line from Jim Cornette. And they don't, guys like Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin and even Adam Cole a little bit to a lesser degree, they don't look like imposing wrestlers. They don't look like they're going to beat somebody up. And again, not to make another comparison to WWE, but in WWE you have guys like Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. These guys actually look imposing. They look like wrestlers. They look like they're actually going to. They have muscle on them. I mean, I'm not a tough guy. I'm about 5'6", not even maybe a little over 180 pounds. But I'm a short, fat guy. I could probably take Orange Cassidy. You know. By the way, if Orange Cassidy is listening to this, that is not a challenge. I like you, Orange Cassidy. You're a cool guy. But, you know, I mean, if you look like you're not going to win a bar fight, well, and this sounds really old school, but if you don't look like you could win a bar fight, what are you doing in wrestling?
Okay. Look, with Darby Allin, there's room for him to win here. There's room for him to get over. He gets over with his gimmick. He could wrestle. He just doesn't have to be the punching bag, the puppet, the punching puppet, the wrestling jobber. And he doesn't lose, but the way he's taking unnecessary bumps. I know he wants to ooze and ahs on the crowd, but all those moves that you've done, all I can relate to, you did all that bump and all that, putting your body on line, and you lose. You know, you don't get the victories. You don't overcome and say, wow, at least he gets the victory, gets over. You know, he's helping other talents from outside get over. But and unfortunately in this feud, I really am invested in Brody King. I think he, like you mentioned, he's got the freaking look. He is huge, big bear of a man. You know, like, holy crap. If I'm going to walk in a dark alley, I want to walk with a Brody King rather than a Darby Allin, you know, because, oh, look at this punk. You know, I'm gonna get mugged quicker with Darby Allin than we you know, I think Darby Allin's gonna run and leave my ass behind. At least with Brody, we're gonna take out a few people, you know. And by the way, Adam, if for always want to see, look at Joe Garner, the quintessential stud muffin. That's who Adam the Diffman is. He is Joe Garner.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Gertner. Yes, the quintessential stud muffin. I'm pretending like I have a neck brace on.
He has it. He has it, guy. That is Joe Garner, by the way. Just, you know.
Yes.
This is alias.
I've actually been Joe Gertner this entire time, Kev. You finally found out my real identity. So, very unexpected Joe Gertner reference. Wow.
What do you think? I am almost a wrestling encyclopedia. I'm not a newcomer who came on the scene 5 years ago and act like they know about wrestling, and just because, you know, you talk about bread and saving bread and watching about HBO Max, and then you're on a popular wrestling podcast. And no, this is a person who's been watching wrestling since 1982.
Yep. Yep. I really hope that this match is a squash, though. I really hope that Brody King just absolutely squashes Darby Allin. It should be. It really, in my opinion, this match should really be a squash.
It probably is. It probably is here. But after that promo, which I thought was kind of weird, was they cut to Miro. Now he's talking about cutting a promo with his problem with House of Black. Now I'm like, wait a minute. Do you want to get Malachi Black, or do you want to go after? It should be the other way around. I'd rather see Darby Allin taking on Malachi Black, and I want Brody King going up against Miro. Like, they got the wrong feuds here, friends. So I kind of like, but one thing I'm going to say about the way they're promoting this, though, the way they did it, having Brody King beat the crap out of Darby Allin outside of the wrestling arena in Comic-Con, in meet and greets. I kind of like that, though, because it's you're calling people who's not watching to want to watch AEW. Trying to get marketing outside with free publicity by just having some guys just go and beat the crap out of this location. I personally like it. I don't know about you.
Definitely. And I'm hyped up about both of these feuds, Darby and Brody King, and Miro and Malachi. And I like Miro, and I've liked Miro since he came over from WWE into AEW. And there was a period where they weren't really doing a whole lot with him. And it was really more about the Elite and Jericho Appreciation Society and Blackpool Combat Club and all of these guys. So I'm sort of glad to see the mid-card guys like Miro and Malachi Black. Been a big fan of Malachi Black for a long time, by the way, too. I've been a fan of his since WWE. So I'm happy to see both of these guys actually finally doing something and is with each other. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. Not too... I like Brody King. I'm glad that he has a job now with AEW. I've been watching him since Ring of Honor and maybe a little bit before. But yeah, I'm happy that Brody King is there as well. Darby, I mean, man, just go to the gym, have a few hamburgers, maybe head down to the BX Sports JEDI mansion down there, have a few T-bone steaks. I'm sure you'd gladly have Darby over for a T-bone steak.
Absolutely, and he could try to rekindle his flame with Gigi Dolan, former his ex-wife from NXT. She lives in Orlando.
Hey, there you go. And me, who's eventually going to be a future Winter Park guy. Yep, O-Town represent. And just go down there, have a T-bone steak, hit the gym, and maybe actually start looking like a pro wrestler.
There you go. Yeah, so we go forward. Personally, I'm not investing in Miro in AEW. I think he's the same crap that he saw in WWE. I don't know. People like him. Listen, it's not my cup of coffee. I don't want to stick too long with the Miro. I'm not bashing him. It's just not my cup of coffee. I seen it before. I don't see, his redeemer. And it's going to be Lana, folks. He's going to be bowing down to Lana. So
yes.
So we move on from there. We get to a match. The next match on the card. I had a phone call, said, hey, 2000 called and wanted his wrestlers back. But the match, I think this is the first time they go one-on-one in an AEW event, which was Matt Hardy taking on Christian Cage. But before that, we saw Christian Cage earlier coming into the arena, getting stopped by Tony Schiavone to cut a promo. And out of nowhere in a car, Jungle Boy stops in like a maniac and almost hits the guys. Of course, he gets escorted out of the ring. And we go on to the match there. Before that, your promo thoughts. And I want to say hello to Angelo. I haven't seen you in a while, Angelo. Good to see you, my man. To say hi. Salute. Thank you, my friend.
Wait, Angelo Dawkins? Oh, no, never
No, he's got the Bill Goldberg look in there. Look at that.
mind.
Yeah, we got Angelo the Bill Goldberg. Philippopoulos in the building.
Oh,
I
yes. Great Greek name. Love the Greeks.
As Adam is Greek himself.
Yep. Big fan of the Greeks. Good people. Anyway, as far as this promo, I thought it was a little bit goofy because you see the garage open, or they cut to like the the open garage, and you're welcome, dude. And when you see the car coming in, the car was still like a good 50 yards away. And Christian's like, "Hey, wait a second. Hold on here. No, he's trying to hit me. He's trying to hit me." And it's like, look out for that car that's still 500 feet away. And Christian kind of reacted to the car, I think, a little bit early, coming towards him. It could have been like, "Hey, what is this?" And then the car gets closer, like, "Oh, he's trying to hit me," But it was like, you see the car like 500 feet away, and he's like, stop him! He's coming right at me." Yeah, he's still like all the way down there. He's like coming in your direction, but you don't know if he's going to brake before he comes anywhere near you. So Christian may be overreacting or reacting a little bit early to the car coming towards him. And then Jungle Boy getting escorted out, as you said. That was an okay segment.
Now the match of these two future Hall of Famers or current Hall of Famers, if I'm not mistaken, they get in the ring. One thing I got, as much as said, then 2000 called and they wanted their match, their wrestlers back, but they look like they haven't left off a skip the beat their match, although no botches. I thought, but Matt Hardy does look a little bit antiquated, old, like stiff, like, like, my God, please go open up a wrestling school and or become a producer backstage. Help the younger talents, because you have a lot of just a lot of in-ring ability that you could help a younger talent get over with, not just on camera but behind the scenes. But all in all, they didn't skip a beat though. As much as I want to criticize it, it aesthetically it didn't look good from Hardy, physically. And of course, you could see the alopecia on him. He's balding. Of course, issues with his brother and their lives. But I thought the match was fine, despite the fact that it sounds like I'm hating on it. But it was a fine match. It was okay. What's your thoughts?
I thought it was better than a fine match. I thought it was a very good match. This was actually my favorite match on the show.
All right.
I like this match better than the women's tag match, which was my second favorite match. So yeah, when I first heard this match, I thought the same thing, which was, what year is this? But when I saw it, I thought, wow, these guys are really going all out. They're really trying to prove something. They're really trying to prove that they still got it. And Matt Hardy might have looked a little bit slow, and he might have had to keep up with Christian a little bit during this match. The table spot was a little bit wonky looking. It didn't really look like it was that brutal with, I think it was Matt. Yeah, Matt going through the table. But, yeah, all in all, I thought this was a much better match than I expected, because my expectation was pretty low for this match, and they definitely exceeded my expectations.
Right, Captain Charisma capitalized and scores a victory, and he gets the fans infuriated. He gets them pissed off. Hardy, if this match, it wasn't no Ric Flair last match, but it was read up, it was close to that. But all in all, I know you liked it. I thought it was all right because I thought it was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be like Ric Flair's last match. It wasn't. It was really, the chair. You saw he teases to go with a cunt chair to Hardy, only to have Luchasaurus' music hit. just enough of distraction, and out of the crowd comes Jungle Boy. I guess he bought a ticket to allow himself back in the ring, back in the arena. And Jungle Boy comes up with, a profanity-laced T-shirt, which is all right. They're building that feud, that heat, that Jungle Boy is thirsty to get his hands on a Christian Cage there. Hopefully, this is like a no-hold-barred match where when I see these two fight or get in the ring between Christian and Jungle Boy, I want to see some blood. And I don't want to see that crappy Eddie Kingston fake type of blood match. I want to see a brutal blood match between these two. Tease it in something, give me in a cage, give me something. I can't wait for Jungle Boy to get his hands on Christian, because I know Christian will deliver and put Jungle Boy over, but I got to see some blood going forward. I think Adam got chokeslammed by Luchasaurus. As Adam is having technical difficulties. That's what happens when you take the whole show on the road there.
Yeah, I'm there with him. I'm invested.
All right. Now, we move on to the next here in another, hey, it's 1998 and match, the dumpster match called and wants his match back. You had the Acclaim taking on the Gun Club in a dumpsters match. Now, one of the hottest tag teams in the AEW is the Acclaim. The crowd in the Acclaim world loves it. In AEW world, they love it. They're over. But I think this feud with the Gun Club has to come to a conclusion already, because it's getting a little redundant. All right, you're gonna fight the Ass Club again or the Gun Club again. I like to see both Gun Boys go out there. Austin and I forget the other kid's name. Ashton? No, what's the other Gun son's name?
Austin Gunn, I think.
No, I know it's Austin. I don't know the other kid name. Colt. There you go. Austin and Colt. There you go.
Okay, yeah. Colt Gunn.
Austin,
yeah, that makes sense.
They both are really good. With their father there. The Acclaim, they're over. The only reason why is the kid with the rap. I get it. He gets the crowd invested, but he can't keep the word WWE or Vince McMahon out of his raps, which I get it. Go for it. Have fun. It's, but it's all right, dude. You got to show me something. The match was a fun match. I am not going to say it wasn't. It was a fun match. It had some good moments, his good spots. What was your thoughts on everything from the intro, from the match itself?
Well, one thing that I thought when I first saw the Acclaimed is, oh hey, it's Street Profits Light. It's you ever see that meme where it's like, Mom, I want the Street Profits. We have the Street Profits at home. The Street Profits at home, and then it's a picture of the Acclaimed. Or when you order the Street Profits off Wish, and a picture of the Acclaimed.
I thought that was Private Party.
Oh yeah, actually you might be right. Private Party might be a little bit closer to Street Profits. But yeah, I like the Scissor Me thing is kind of over.
It is.
I will admit the whole,
who goes with
Scissor
Me? Yeah, who two grown men go around doing Scissor Me?
Well, the Street Profits off Wish, apparently.
Don't do that in New York City subways, because you're going to get punched in the face. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that in Philadelphia's subway either. So, yeah, as far as the match itself, it was a throwback to 98. It was a throwback to, the New Age Outlaws versus Cactus Jack and Terry Funk on Monday Night Raw 98. So it did kind of have like that retro feel to it. As far as the match goes, I like the match. The spot with them getting pushed off the stage at the end was kind of predictable, because that's what the New Age Outlaws did to Cactus Jack and Terry Funk. Mm-hmm. The other problem I had with this match was the fact that Street Profits in the beginning attacked Gun Club from behind and then continue to do their entire entrance, like their entire rap entrance. Which, by the way, I love the line about Vince McMahon. You're gonna get fired like Vince McMahon. That was pretty entertaining. But the Gun Club just stayed down during the Acclaim's entire entrance. Almost like, oh, they're still doing their entrance? All right, we'll just stay down. We'll just stay down until they're finished rapping. And then we'll get up and then we'll start beating them up. So, that's an AEW thing. That's just stupid booking, in my opinion. But Tony Khan and stupid booking can kind of go. So, I actually would have closed the show with this match. I would have had this match go after the match that is next. No spoilers. But because the match that was next had a big stipulation, that was a match that went on last. But I thought that the dumpster being upside down with Gun Club inside of it, I'm like, oh wow, they're really hurt. That would have been a better way to go off the air.
Right, because you want to tune in next week for Rampage to find out if they're medically all right, if they're okay, what's the situation. Because you could have even, heck, they record Rampage right afterwards. You could have had them come out in the second spot of Rampage, banded up. Hey, the Acclaim beat us up. They hurted us in this spot, and we're gonna get revenge. You could have had that where people want to tune in on Friday night. Rampage, you're struggling in ratings. To the point where you're only 300,000 plus viewers to watch that show. Where we're hearing now that Discovery Media wants to cut down on production. They scrap Batwoman or Batgirl. They're scrapping some programs, and you haven't had a renewal of contract, and your numbers keep plummeting in AEW. You might lose that Rampage contract and just force you to be just one night on TNT. Or TBS, wherever the hell they are.
Well, they kind of want to make it the NBA channel. They want to make it like the NBA playoff channel, and NBA, it costs a lot of money for them to produce NBA on TNT. So because it costs so much money, they're going to have to start dumping other shows. And this is actually the news that I was going to talk about at the end with Warner Brothers Discovery making some changes and some cutbacks, and basically wanting to put a lot of money into the NBA playoffs, and because of this, they're going to have to cut back. So, yeah, who knows also when other guys want to renew their contracts, if these other guys don't want to renew their contracts, you're going to have to take less money. But
So that's a little news and notes. Sorry I jumped to news and notes. I just thought that was a story to tell with the numbers and
that's fine.
So I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to Thunder Rosa you and sandbag you. But all in all, the Thunder, it was a dumpsters match. It felt like it was at anywhere, it falls anywhere as long as you get them in the dumpster. Why wasn't Billy Gunn part of this, at least running interference and taking at least a couple hits from the Acclaim? This is the opportunity where there's no disqualification. You went back to the locker room like a jerk.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
Don't put, especially trying to interfere where they try to roll out the dumpster and then he gets super kicked or something out of the way. They could have put him to a table while because they were zip tied shut in the dumpster. They could have just taken out Billy Gunn there, and Daddy's not there to protect them, will throw you off the stage, and you could have ended it. But like I said, a mystery, what happened to them. And but one thing was cringeworthy was them trying to get him off the stage. They were having a hard time. I thought they were going to botch the throw off of the stage on the side. I was like, oh my God, this is going to go terrible. I don't know if you saw where they were struggling just to move the dumpster.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And something else I noticed was, if you saw, the bag over the dumpster was pointed towards the entrance ramp where they come out, and there was like a little spot next to the entrance ramp. When they started pushing the dumpster, you actually saw the place
Little
where,
door.
yeah, the little door. They actually showed the little door where the gun club probably escaped.
They exited it out of there, yeah.
Yeah, they exited before the dumpster went off the stage, and they made it kind of obvious because you saw the little door. You saw the little door was pointed towards the staging area, the entrance area. So that was kind of a botch.
That was bad camera angle. The camera angle caught that. You know what? It was what it was. It served its purpose. They should have ended it, but all in the last, we saw that Acclaim gets the victory on the Gun Club. Do they now? I know people complain about. Oh no, and I heard all of you complain about Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar again. They even had memes of them as old men wrestling. And they complain about WWE with their constant booking of the same matches, but this is like the fourth time that the Gun Club has fought already declaimed since the heel turn, and they haven't turned that far. They haven't broken up that far, and it was like the fourth time they've wrestled already in different. I hope this is the end of it, and even the main event is the fourth time these guys go at it, Jericho and Wheeler Yuta. But before we get to the main event, we cut a promo, or we see a promo that Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are gonna get finally married. They're in Paris. They're showing the love is in the air everywhere I look around. And then you get Eddie Kingston to interrupt the promo.
Oh man, this was bad.
And he was horrible. I don't know. I don't get why the AEW world loves him. Not a fan. I think he's, I'm not a fan. Put it that way. I'm not going to say anything more negative. I'm not a fan of anything. And it seemed like, I couldn't beat Jericho. Now I'm going to move on to Guevara. So what's next? The guy with the teeth? What are you going to, then he's going to end up wrestling Anna Jay at the end of the feud when he can't beat any of them? I mean, well, I guess we got a match between Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston coming up.
Yeah, this was one part of the show, honestly, where I said to myself, I can do without this. I can always do without Eddie Kingston. Was it tolerable? Yeah. I guess that this promo was good for an Eddie Kingston promo, which is not really saying a whole lot. To say that this is good for an Eddie Kingston promo is like saying, well, that was pretty good for the Mets. Or boy, that was pretty good for the Minnesota Twins. Oh, the Minnesota Twins went on a 3-game winning streak. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! So to say that something is good for, oh, by the way, yeah, I know the Mets are in first place right now, but yeah, they're gonna blow that. So oh, sorry, wrong show again. wrong BX Jedi Sports Network show.
Yes, that's for the Q44 Mets podcast.
Hi, Chef Dan, how you doing? But so yeah, to say that this is good for an Eddie Kingston promo isn't really saying a whole lot. I have no interest in this match whatsoever. Guevara versus Kingston.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're going to get it. But we finally make to the hour of the main event. Now, this is Chris Jericho putting his guaranteed AEW interim opportunity on the line against Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. If Wheeler Yuta wins, it will take on Moxley for the fourth time. They will have that rematch, Black Root Combat Club. And if Jericho wins, he will be on to face Moxley and Jericho too. And a lot of implication on the line. First and foremost, we see Angelo Parker and Matt come out to ringside, all for, of course, Audrey Edwards tosses them out. Also, Cardio Casanoli comes out to just like even the playing field. When they get tossed, he leaves. So I was like, okay, why are we stalling and wasting time with this nonsense? They should be not coming out from the very beginning. Keep them back there. But all in all, the match starts, and Jericho, whoever he could put in there, will make anyone look good. And Wheeler Yuta doesn't need the help of a Jericho. I thought for a main event, the match was solid. Where does Wheeler Yuta have that charisma that we want? Not really. What's your thoughts, Adam?
You know, after the dumpster match, this was a little bit of a letdown. And I really felt that the dumpster match should have main evented. So after that, I was kind of like, all right. I mean, Chris Jericho is getting Wheeler Yuta over. And he did let him get in a lot of his stuff. But at the same time, I mean, I didn't really expect Yuta to win, because if Yuta won, that would mean that it would be Blackpool Combat Club versus Blackpool Combat Club. So it was kind of obvious that Jericho was going to go over. I wasn't really too invested in this match, to be honest, and I did watch the match. Sorry, hang on 1 second.
Yes. As Adam takes a sneeze
Sorry,
for a moment.
I did.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. I did watch the match, but because it was so obvious that Jericho was going to go over, I wasn't really too into it. I did like the code breaker though, where Yuta, I think, came off the middle or top rope, and Jericho hit him with the code breaker. That was actually a really cool spot. I enjoyed that. Yeah,
Adam, Adam, real quick, that should have been the finish, in my opinion. He went to take a chance off the top rope, and a veteran like Chris Jericho catches him with that code breaker for the top ropes, because then you're like, whoa. But that's like, here we go again. Here's another match with Wheeler Yuta. He gets hit with a awesome type of move, and he's kicking out. He's not selling the move. He got power drive twice against the best friends. He kicks out. And then, I didn't like the finish. He taps out on, of course, Walls of Jericho is the Walls of Jericho. That's a move that, many have tapped out to. But I think that would have been, for a pure champion, that he's a pure champion with the pure champion rules, I would have liked to see him not tap out, but get beat by that mistake. The veteran got the young guy, the young, eager wrestler with that move.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. That would have been a better finish. I also didn't really like the way that Yuta tapped out to the walls. I felt like his tap out was kind of like, all right, fine, I tap. Instead of like, oh, this is the Walls of Jericho. This is so painful. I tap out.
Yeah. He's not, that's my point again with him. Going forward, he's not selling these moves. He's not the performers, and that's going to get dissension in the back of in the locker room, because bro, I'm out there performing. I'm putting this vicious move out, and you're not selling it. You're just tapping out like casual, like you're getting, you're better. You look like we're tickling you, and you're just gonna, that's not cool.
Exactly. Yeah, he was kind of like, okay, fine, I give up, rather than like, I'm in a lot of pain, I give up.
And he doesn't put that face of in pain. He just keeps that stupid face like, that didn't hurt me. And that's not good.
But again, I mean, this is kind of the problem with AEW, in my opinion, is the fact, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
The problem with AEW, in my opinion, is the fact that they're not selling moves. They're popping up after big moves. They're acting like big moves don't affect them. And this is a problem. Why aren't you selling? This is big moves that are being done to you. You should be selling these moves.
Finisher should be protected no matter what.
Right.
And I don't think they do a good job of protecting finishers.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we get Chris Jericho, get the victory on Wheeler Yuta. He will move on to take on Moxley, and then Moxley comes out, cuts a promo. I thought the promo was good. Like you said, wrong spot at the wrong time. I think that should have been prior to the Acclaim match. Then go with the Acclaim dumpster match. You see, now here's an issue I have, Adam. I love Jericho's response. You want to know about the last member of the Stu Hart dungeon, but it's like every week, is Jericho going through a personality crisis? Every week he's a wizard, the Painmaker, the Lionheart, Y2J. Okay, it's starting to get old now. Every week you're gonna, I love Chris Jericho. I am a Chris Jericho fan, a mark. I go as back as far. Don't be an ass clown T-shirt. I love just Jericho, and I think Jericho is still a good ring competitor. But I think he's also great on the microphone as a commentary. But I don't want to lose that fact there. Stop it with I know you reinvent yourself, and we know that. But it's like every week now he has to do a different persona, and it's like, okay, you're gonna run out of persona, and what's next?
Oh yeah, and he's reinvented himself so many times now. He's actually gone back to his first persona of Lionheart.
Right. And but okay, so if he doesn't get, if you don't get the AEW title, so what are you gonna be? So if he beats Moxley and becomes the interim, so he's back to Le Champion. I like Le Champion, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him going back to Le Champion and being Le Interim Champion until CM Punk comes back. And then when CM Punk comes back, I would actually much rather see Jericho versus CM Punk than Moxley versus Punk.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But you know what? I'm going to go on a little bit of a hot take. I don't think CM Punk doesn't return until 2023. That's just me. I don't see him. I don't see him returning back until 2023.
You don't think that Punk is going to be back anytime soon, you said?
I don't think so.
Well, when do you think that do you know when Punk is? I mean, I know it's not going to be any time soon, but you can have Jericho be the interim champion until, well, maybe September, hopefully all out.
Yeah, or you could have Jericho win it next week just for a little bit. Just give Moxley a couple of time off and let him win it back, all out return. Let him have a couple of weeks off just to get, because he's been working his butt off. That's one thing, it a lot, like or don't or dislike Moxie, he's working his rear end off, not just on AEW, or even he's still wrestling in the independent circuit. He had a match in StarCast over the weekend. He's a hardworking, he loves the business.
Yeah, I wish that Moxley was a little bit better on the mic, though, because his promos just put me to sleep.
Yeah, his promos are boring a little bit. That's why, and Regal doesn't help it either. Regal's all, so I don't know what's going on with Black Root Combat Club. You got Castelloni with the title. You've got Moxley now, and you have Yuta. I don't know where they go forward with that. With them, they're holding most of the gold there, and usually if they're the face, don't usually hold the gold for too long. Someone gets to drop it soon, and Casio, Antonio Cesaro Castelloni just got the Ring of Honor title, so I don't see him dropping it. And the pure title it's only special for Ring of Honor when they have the pay-per-view, because it's such a long and a lot of rules that I don't think it translates on national television. If you're telling me you put a pure rules title, a match on Dynamite or Rampage, people will be bored, they'll turn it off, because the rules are a little obscure. I like it. If you're a pure wrestling fan, that's what it's called, but that works only for pay-per-view, Adam. And they're not going to take that title, drop him there, and, I can see Moxley dropping the title.
Yeah, I would definitely have Moxley drop the interim title, because it's only the interim title, to Jericho, and then start building towards, you know what you could actually do? You can actually have Jericho maybe cycle through all of his gimmicks. Well, you couldn't call himself Y2J though. That's the only thing because WWE owns that.
Right. He'll get
So
yeah.
yeah. So you couldn't call him Y2J. But what you maybe could do is you can have a Y2J version 2, I guess, maybe, as the interim champion. And then when Punk comes back, re-spark the feud that him and Punk had in WWE. What, maybe 6 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I would like to see, doesn't mean Roxy doesn't deserve the title run, but it's an interim experiment. You know what? It's an interim title for now. I would like AEW to experiment a little bit. See, let Jericho have a run here. If you want to do it all out and make him drop, let him hold it for a couple of weeks. I'm fine with that. Moxie want to return the title again. That's okay with it. Then let him go. Let Moxie go to maybe the next pay-per-view, or I think it's in November, whenever, if it's Revolution or whatever the case is.
I believe it's December.
In December? Okay, so the next one, vice versa, something like that. Or in between there, if Punk doesn't return, and maybe in that time, if Roxley doesn't hold the title and you still have Jericho go on a title run, you gear up for 2023 Warlord. Now, and what you got to go whoever's in your roster healthy. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for CM Punk's unfortunate incident, as well as Daniel Bryan Dynasty, but you got to reward the wrestlers who takes care of their body, who's healthy. And I know that's a freak injury with a foot, but the show must move on, and you change the plans, you go with that.
Yeah.
And also now that you're struggling with ratings, no one will bring more eyeballs or put asses to the seats than a Chris Jericho as Elite Champion. They were doing good. When Jericho was Elite Champion, they made NXT move to Tuesday nights. They were a threat in ratings. You gotta give it an experiment to see at least if your ratings increase with Jericho as the champion. To see, because Moxley was the champion during the pandemic, it was all right. I know you wanted to celebrate him with fans, but you already have the fans hooked on this product. Now you're losing ratings to WWE with a new regime. And by the way, AEW is reacting to the Triple H effect because they did a lot of changes going forward here. And I think you got to go with Jericho. I hate to say it with the title. If you're not going to put a Warlord, and right now, if you're Tony Khan, you got to try to talk to MJF and get his rear end back on camera on somewhere, somehow, because you're going to lose this battle here with the WWE hard.
Completely agree, 100% with everything that you said.
And that concludes the Dynamite review for tonight with all the matches. We're going to talk a little bit about the wrestling world, just a little bit. And I know Adam has got to get going as well as myself. We got other things to do. But I just wanted to talk about that. Now with the ratings, with Tony Khan has made some executive move. We've got some guys elevated up in position. Sanjay Dutt, Tony Schiavone, head of relation talent, and so forth. They're making moves within the company. Guys are getting elevated, moved around. I think they brought that lady to be a coach. I forget her name. Excuse me. It escaped my mind. And you saw the AEW is responding to what WWE is doing. My point is, the women with Royal SummerSlam being featured, with the facet of Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai coming in, going up, taking on Bayley, Bianca Belair, and the way it looked on Monday Night Raw, the women, how they were featured. You saw them make a quick adjustment, putting the women early, showcasing, and the women, I got to give them credit. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Tony Storm, they bought it. They bought it. They to me, favorite match to me personally. I love that match. I thought they bought it. And I'm like, okay, AEW, you saw what the women are doing on Raw. They're not afraid of putting them in main event. They're not afraid of making the whole Raw about these ladies. Now, I'm not saying AEW has to do exactly like that. That's a first step in the positive direction tonight with the ladies. Let's see what Rampage. They gotta fix that James Cargill situation. because she's great. She's beautiful. She's the champ. She's strong, but she sucks wrestling. She's the is AEW's version of Lash Legend. Big, tall, although Hikaru can wrestle a little more better, but there's an issue there. They got to fix that. Hopefully with this new coach, they help her go forward. You're seeing that the effect here. The AEW is bringing out promo with the Undisputed Elite. That was nice to see them bring there. There's the WWE, what it's doing by them elevating their program is bringing competition. Cream rises to the top. And I think that's what we're going to get with not just AEW, not just WWE, also Impact Wrestling. Don't shit or fall asleep on Impact Wrestling. They had a great card, and they're having a pay-per-view coming up next weekend. Not this weekend, the following one. They're having their pay-per-view as well. And that's going to be also a good card. You know, we saw them feature. If you watched the Ric Flair last match, you had a combination of all the wrestling programs, MLW, Impact Wrestling, NWA, of course, AEW, WWE. It was like that was truly a forbidden door, and only Ric Flair could provide that. A man with that stature opened that forbidden door. Nevertheless, Tony Khan had the name brand and thought about New Japan, but really the open forbidden door was last weekend with Ric Flair's last match. It looked great with all the different companies going at it. And I've said it before, Adam. I want to let you know that I mentioned on my last podcast. I think watch out for Impact Wrestling making some strides in 2023 to catch up to an AEW, at least to Rampage right now. Just be careful. I'm just saying that. I'm going on a limb to say that, Adam.
Well, there's actually one more thing that I want to touch on really quickly before we go off the air tonight, if you don't mind.
No, yeah, no, we have. This is freestyle. Go, let's talk.
All right.
Everything.
It's very possible that Sasha Banks and Naomi are very close, if not have already made a deal with the post Vince McMahon WWE, the now Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Helmsley era, I guess in real life has begun, like we had in 2000. In storyline, we have it now in real life, the McMahon-Helmsley era in WWE, the post-Vince McMahon era in WWE. What do you think of the possibility of Sasha and Naomi returning to WWE and not jumping over to AEW, where they actually maybe...
Ladies,
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is obvious that my man, the DIFFMAN, was on sabbatical. He was away, disconnected from the Heal the Ring podcast because he took some time off to make some money for the Don. He's working and also making his money because he's going to come be my muscle here in Orlando. He was away. He didn't hear the podcast where I mentioned about a month ago, 2 months ago, the ladies were not leaving the WWE at all. That I told you that back in 3 weeks ago, they were Bailey was all month, 2 months in Orlando, Florida. As you can see, if you go to the Twitter, they took a picture, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell, and I believe one more lady, Roxanne, was carrying Bailey backstage in the performances. That's a nice picture because Bailey's been in Orlando for months. Sasha Banks has been in Orlando for months. Vince McMahon, when before being retired, met with them as well with Triple H and Stephanie when they were transitioning. They had a meeting. That's the same time when they signed Logan Paul to the multi-year contract in Orlando in the Performance Center. Sasha Banks was there. And I've been saying it over and over, and I mentioned it, and it's on the video. I have the receipts. I said I'm not a wrestling insider. They say, oh, they're gone, they're released. I said nonsense. Sasha was given time to do eye surgery for LASIK. Also taking care of Mandalorian 3 wrapping up, and take the summer off for Naomi as well because Jimmy and Jay were working so much with their card because their cousin was taking a part-time schedule and they needed that bloodline onto house shows and so forth. My point was they were seen in concerts in Apopka, Jay Bailey and Sasha Banks. So she's been working, and I said she was never leaving WWE, and time has given me the correct and shown that what I've said has spoken truth. And I said it wasn't no dirt sheet that I read. It wasn't nowhere that I read it from anyone or taking a copy or paste. It was these right here, my eyes. when you see them with your eyes and you see them in the city of Orlando, up and down in every place, you go and put two and two together. Yes, I know AEW Dark is recorded in Universal Studios. I understand that. But when they were seen in the Performance Center with Little Birdies and When Your Eyes See, you knew that. I knew, and I said it, they're not going anywhere. Just chill, relax, and relax. I'm still thinking Royal Rumble for Sasha Banks, but who knows? They might even elevate it because they're excited here with Bayley, the pop and the hotness that Bayley has come in with her facet. You could see Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Sasha going up against that. You know, that is going to explode. So I'm not trying to take my pat on my back. I'm just saying I told you so. I said, relax, let it play out there, because when your eyes don't deceive you, you know what you see it, and I'm glad that you've seen it, Adam. You mentioned it, and yes. I said it. I've said it. They weren't going anywhere. You've seen Sasha in Orlando, made up with Vince, and they're coming back. Also,
now, do you think that?
Yes.
Do you think that maybe they wanted to see where else they could possibly get an offer? Do you think that maybe they were pulling a Aaron Judge a little bit and thinking, well, maybe I'll go play down in Houston with Altuve, and maybe the Astros got something for me, and I want to shop around and see what other offers I can get before I go back to WWE?
I think what it was is take a cool off period, take some time away from the ring. You're probably working. You are yes, you are frustrated the way the way we're creating things here. Take the summer off, get off the, and we'll drop the title, we'll scrap that, and we'll get like a reset. Just go relax, gets the business is just working you over. Some people get mentally burned with the work stress, and that's probably what it was, in my opinion. And it all was a perfect storm of they walked out right when Roman Reigns decided he was going to work a light schedule, and then maybe that's what the creative part was, that Jimmy and Jay were going to be more workhorse, and Naomi and her husband have children. They're going to be off for the summer. Maybe they had some plans that they were thinking, and they, his work schedule was like, and they, now you take some time off, then it's okay. You and Sasha could take, I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box. They're going to get new contracts. Yes. They're always going to get paid by the WWE because they sell merchandise, Adam. They sell merchandise like hotcakes. WWE wants merchandise. Also, the talent makes money off of their merchandise. Why would you go to a new company where you don't know how much is the merchandise deal you're going to get? You see them, they're not, the women has not showcased well there. They're going to, look at Athena, game changers. Now she's wrestling for the past 3 weeks in Dark Elevation. Where is she now with the Jay Cargill feud? That's dead. That's like quiet. You even got Chris Statlander jump Athena to go first to get after, Jay Cargill. It's like, whoa, what happened? Now that's kind of cooled off, Adam. There's no room for the women yet. Look, heck, you main evented WrestleMania with women. When has All Out or Double or Nothing or any? I know they're only in their infancy. Oh, but AEW's only been. Yes, I understand you're only in your infancy. You could at least one of them headline one of these women, Bit Breaker, to win. You could have done the tournament to win the Owen Hart. Both of them come out. My point is, I've been saying it for a long time, Adam, and I know they did something good, AEW, though, for the women. They trademarked All Elite Women, which I'm hoping it leads to an All Elite pay-per-view of women, because I think AEW still, with all this, though, I still think they have a lot of talented women on their roster. From of course, Big Breaker. You got Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa, Tori Storm. You've got Nia Rose. You have Jay Cargill. Kira Hogan. You got Ruby Soho. You got Anna Jay. Ty Conti is a good wrestler. You got Layla from ROH. You also got Martinez. You got the champ. You got
the what's her name, the baseball mitt.
You got Serena Deeb, the catcher's mitt. Indeed.
The catcher's mitt, that's it.
You got Serena Deeb. Yes. You also, you know, they have the ladies there that could give you a wrestling card, you know, that will be entertaining. And if Tony Khan, if you don't want to put on a pay-per-view, you could have done it on a Saturday night instead of Band of the Cat, or, you know, Clash of the Tigers, whatever you want to call it, you know, all elite women on a Saturday night, just to see and give us a 2-hour card there. I think the ladies would have brought the house down, would have been appreciative of the opportunity there. And I think you would have got not only a wrestling audience of your casuals, you would have got some new eyeballs, new ladies, something different. Oh, let's take a look at these ladies, you know, wrestle here, you know. At the end, make a tournament, you know, the top lady of the year. You give her, you know, some beautiful flowers or something, you know, like kind of a Queen of the Ring type of deal, without stealing from WWE, that Queen of the Ring. You know, that would have been, that would look nice.
Yes, agreed. Yep.
And that's different.
You had women of honor in Ring of Honor, and that's now nice. Who knows what's going to happen to a lot of those ladies? Exactly.
A lot of like that. You could bring you have a good working relation with Impact. You want some veteran names to help you the card. You could sign for a night of Mickey J, come over and help you, because she, you know, hey, you buddy up with her, you kiss her, you talk to Tony Khan, and Mickey talk every week, once a week on Wednesdays on Busted Open. Anyway, you have that relationship there with Impact Wrestling. You had Donna Purrazzo. I think that was the biggest mistake on ROH and Tony Khan, not signing Donna Purrazzo.
Oh yes, agreed.
She's a free agent, by the way, in December. If I am WWE, I am signing Diana Purrazzo immediately up to the main roster. No NXT nonsense. The moves that she makes, that she does on Impact Wrestling, and she had this over the past weekend. She could go. She's hardcore. She might not be your normal, typical WWE. Remember, this is past WWE women. They got to be thin, or got to look a certain way. Yes, she's a little bit on the thicker side. Yes, but she could go. I don't care about the looks. It's about the match, the wrestling ability. She could go. She could wrestle. You also had the daughter of Paul Edeling. I forget her first name, Edeling. Her last name, Edeling. She could wrestle. She was on the Ric Flair card. Another one. I was very impressed with her. And for an Impact, that's why I say, if Impact Wrestling don't hold their wrestlers with the money, and they could get poached with wrestlers, they're gonna lose. You know, go after them. But if personally, I would like them to stay and make money and be a force to AEW. Like back in the day, you had ECW, WCW, and WWE. They all pushed each other to give us great wrestling. That's why I hope Impact elevates and gives us a great wrestling, and maybe close the forbidden door a little bit with AEW, allowing talents to hip hop or hop along, break back and forth. Close it a little bit, because you really want to. That's the person you want to catch and you want to eliminate. So don't help them. You want to go and be better than them. Then you worry about going after WWE. And you know, I just would like that personally, to have those ladies feature Queen of the Ring or something like that, you know, the top, you know, for AEW going forward.
Oh yeah, and I think it's going to be at least another good 5 years, maybe 7, before AEW can even think about competing directly with WWE. I don't think that's going to happen for a long time, especially since you look at the numbers between Raw and Dynamite last week. Raw did almost 2 million.
2.5.
SmackDown did over 2 million, and Dynamite did not even 1 million. They only did about maybe 950 something thousand.
9.37. I'm looking at the numbers right here, because
9.3. Yeah.
AEW botch goes crazy after. He just doesn't like AEW. That guy, you know, he's that's a cheap plug for you on Twitter. But you know, he does not like them.
Okay, well, yeah, he's maybe a little bit biased, but
Yeah, I think so too.
It's going to be a long road for AEW to be competition. It's kind of like Eric Bischoff said, and I actually agree with what Bischoff said, which is AEW is an alternative to WWE. They are not competition, not yet.
I agree.
It's going to be a long time before they are.
I agree. Just build your own brand, your own storylines. That's why I respect it. NWA and then on TNA, the at least the Impact, when they have the King of the Mountain or the Queen of Mountain matches. That's unique. That's different. The reverse battle royal. That's their gimmick, their matches. Their sanctioned type of matches. I like that. The AEW, give us something different. Don't rip off what we've seen. Don't imitate your competition, because you're going to be considered the wish app of WWE. Be the way you were when you started. You started off bringing in independent wrestlers, indie wrestlers who you know names, and gave us a good product. That's why a lot of folks enjoyed the beginning of AEW. The first honeymoon period of AEW was really phenomenal because you were different from WWE. You were showcasing the indie wrestlers, and then you decided, Khan, I'm gonna use my wallet now. Every ex-WWE wrestlers, I'm bringing them in here because I don't want to see you kind of gave the impression that you don't want to see the indie wrestlers no more. You want to see WWE performers. What's your thoughts, Adam, with that?
Yeah, in terms of everything with WWE and AEW, you can definitely see the difference, and it kind of feels like AEW is more WCW light, where WWE, it's clear that they're, no pun intended, the big dog in the game, and that they are like they're the big league, and that's where you need to go if you want to be in the big league. That's where you go. You go to Raw, you go to SmackDown, you go to NXT, you go to the Performance Center, and you build your way up. Where AEW and other promotions seem, especially AEW, seems more like WCW. They seem a little bit more like this is where you go towards the end of your career, or if you're an indie guy, or if you're towards the end of your career, maybe a little bit more like the Canadian Football League. They're not as big. Their production value is not as good. You look at Raw, you look at SmackDown, you look at the way it's filmed. Everything is so crisp, and everything is just so, just everything about it is just so neat and so just better looking. The graphics, everything like that. The HD, the cameras that they use, the camera quality. It's just so much better. Where AEW, it looks a little bit more like a B league. They do look like a B league, which is why I say that it's going to be a long time before they're even able to hold themselves competition to WWE. So, I'll end on this note, which is that back in the days of the Attitude Era, I liked watching Raw and I like watching Nitro. And there's things I like about WWE. There's things I don't like about WWE. There's things I like about AEW. There are things I don't like about AEW. But I love competition. And I love that there is competition, because this is something that we didn't have in the mid-2000s. This is something that we didn't have for the last 21 years. Maybe for a little bit in the mid-2000s we had TNA, but TNA wasn't ever really serious competition to WWE. They were another alternative, which was a really popular alternative, but it was a very short-lived Monday Night War. TNA kind of ran with their tail between their legs pretty early on in that war, and decided that they were going back to Thursday nights, or whenever it was. Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, whatever Impact was on at the time. And, it's just, competition is good. And I'm very happy with Dynamite. I'm very happy with the way that AEW is going. I'm maybe not as excited as I am with some of the angles going on in WWE. I could do without Jon Moxley as interim champion. Please get the belt on Jericho as soon as possible. And other than that, I'm just excited about wrestling. I'm a very happy wrestling fan.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, to cover wrestling. Personally, I could, before we got on the Here in the Ring podcast, I was out of wrestling, watching wrestling, not invested too much in it. From WrestleMania on, just reinvested. I've said I've been watching again. It's true. I've been watching wrestling since 1982. Third generation wrestling fan. My grandfather bringing those memories, brought those great memories from the first WrestleMania all the way to now. Yes, in the mid 2000s, like you said, I kind of went away. The pandemic kind of took me away from watching wrestling. I thought without the fans, this product wasn't so great. AEW emerges. And when I first saw it, I remember watching with my kids from the very first few episodes. I said, "This is copy and paste WCW," and that was before all these WWE wrestlers started arriving. And then when they were arriving in the last 5 minutes of the show, I said, "This is Monday Night Nitro." But I digress. Wrestling is good right now. Wrestling, and the point is, it's got me invested to watch all of them now, to the point where I did watch the Forbidden Door, and I was pleasantly surprised with that. I still am raving about the match between Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. Phenomenal match. I still remember Tashikita Okada. And all the other wrestlers in there that I'm now keeping an eye on. New Japan Strong in the one that's taped in California now. Now I'm like, oh, you never heard me talk about that. Now I'm a little invested and wanted to check out. I put on the Heel of the Ring podcast Facebook page on Saturdays the NWA Power Hour. I put it on there. Part of that, if you miss it or you don't know where it is, you can watch it on the Heel of the Ring podcast, where they allow us to forward it or share it on the Facebook page. You can watch the NWA Power Hour now. Get invested in NWA there. I've been raving about TNA. Impact, because now they dropped the TNA. They're Impact Wrestling. They're phenomenal. Impact Wrestling. They're coming up with a pay-per-view. Slammiversary was a hit. I'm still talking about that for that Queen of the Mountain match. With the ladies, that was a phenomenal. When Jordynne Grace wins the Knockouts title. But what did I get out of it? Diane Parasso coming off the ladder onto the tables, onto the floor, or falling down there. That's an Impact. That's phenomenal. They brought the house down. Those type of matches, and of course the champion Josh Alexander. Phenomenal champion. You also have the Briscoes. You have the Motor City Machine Guns. The point is, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan because there's more alternatives there, and the performers are really good. I wish I had the time to get involved with Control Your Narrative and MLW, but I don't have the time, Adam, to do all those wrestling shows. But I'm pretty sure that's fun too.
Oh yeah, and one very final thing is, don't forget also that New Japan is building into the finals of the G1 tournament, and whoever wins the G1 tournament is going to get a shot at Okada's belt, or whoever's the champion at Wrestle Kingdom in January. So this is a really good time to get into New Japan as well, because from the G1 finals to Wrestle Kingdom is probably the best time in New Japan. So very exciting stuff going on all around.
Yeah, you see, and wrestling is in a good place. And, we want to thank you guys for allowing us to come each and every or several times a week with the Raw, NXT, SmackDown, AEW, Rampage, and Dynamite. Thank you for allowing us to giving us the time to allow us to just give us our review. We're not the perfect. We're not, we're just giving you from us as a fan what we see. We're not here to be like, we're not paid by any of these wrestling organizations. We just watch it as fans. It's from a fan to the fans of wrestling. We love the sport. Does it sound sometimes that we're a little tribal? At times, yes, but who isn't? But we want to be fair. And like I always tell everyone that hears my voice, I say, look, I respect every in-ring performer that gets in that ring, in that square circle, and give their butts off to perform for us. Take those bumps. They put their body on the line. They go night in, night out, working hard in their craft to us, to entertain us. I don't care I know with AEW, well, we're pro wrestlers. We're not sports entertainers. But what they're doing, they're entertaining us in a sport. So nonsense. They are sports entertainers. They're in the wrestling part of it because they're entertaining us in a sport. So I really appreciate everyone letting us speak about this sport that we love, that's called wrestling, that not only is a sport, but it brings memories. Like I said, I'm a third generation, with my son's now fourth generation wrestling fans. We have memories. I have memories with my grandfather and my uncle taking me to Madison Square Garden to watch, different matches. With SummerSlam '88, WrestleMania in Orlando. I got the chance to take my son twice to WrestleMania to watch, that. Being myself in different wrestling events. The memories that I know Adam, I have memories, with his family and so forth. Getting together with my friends and after high school, and when we became young adults, watching the pay-per-views in my home on Sunday nights, entertaining and having and go, oh my God, going to, when the internet first started, the dirt sheet, who's going to NWO, who's not. That's what wrestling provides us. And I want to thank everyone listening to us to allow us to entertain us. That's why please like, share, and I want to thank you for the support that you give Adam the Diffman, myself, Heel, Samurai, MK, Alex Coquito. Check out, of course, his channel. He does watch-alongs in Twitch about watch-alongs, and also here we do watch-alongs, but he does it regularly with AEW and so forth. MLW, he does phenomenal work. Adam, give us your final goodbyes there. I want to wrap it up because we had a fun time talking wrestling tonight.
Great show as always, Kev. Thanks for having me on. I always appreciate it. Stay tuned for more right here on the BX Sports Jedi Network. Thanks for having me. And I guess I'll end by saying we are the BX Jedi Sports Network. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe.
Peace.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a
looking
bat, I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
best
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize